Hello, Hawkeye fans, and welcome to the Hawk Fanatic Prospect Podcast. I sometimes forget which podcast I'm recording, but looking at Michael Burt's face on the Zoom, I should be able to remember which podcast this is. I am joined by Michael Burt, tight end from Omaha Creighton Prep. I am Rob Howe, your host. We are recording this on Saturday, July 1st, about 11:45 a.m. How's your summer going, Michael?
It's good. It's been a busy one. This June, it feels good to get the month of June out of the way. It was fun, but it was very busy, and I'm kind of ready to get back to a normal summer. But it's been great. Very busy, been all over the place, but I'm very happy. Very happy it's gonna lay down a little bit and calm down. But it's been great. It's awesome.
So, are
Yeah.
you an AAU basketball guy? Do you have July basketball or no?
Good question. I do not play AU. I think for my body, I need to let that not be a thing. I'm busy enough with baseball and football, so I do not play AU.
Do you play basketball? Are you
You know,
still?
I have played basketball my whole life, but I will not play this winter. I just think for my body and everything else, I think I should give myself one off season before going to college. I've never done that in my life. I've always been a three sport guy, so I'm gonna not play basketball this year, but uh, I've played my whole life.
Was that a tough decision? I mean, you grew up playing the sport. I'm sure you're friends with a lot of guys that play. Was it? I know it's for the best, and I think you're doing a smart thing. But was it tough to kind of move on?
Yeah, very tough. I of course missed the game, but I just miss the guys more so. I miss my friends every day, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with the decision.
I think when I interviewed you, you said you were at 6'6", 230. Is that kind of where you're at right now?
I remeasured myself. I'm more so 6'5", and I
Okay.
have cut a little weight. I'm 6'5", 220.
Okay.
Yeah,
You feel good at that weight? I mean, you feel like
yeah,
you still have the athleticism with the size?
very good. I feel better. 230 for me. I think I got 230 a little quick. I think it was good weight, but I think it was a hard transition because I got there so quick. What I want to do is kind of stay at a steady weight around 220 and then let Iowa do what Iowa does with me when I get there. I think it'll be better weight that way. So I'm going to try to stick to about 220 or so and then let Iowa do its thing once when the time comes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, you had, recruiting interest from some really good FCS schools. I think South Dakota State, a lot of those schools in our area, in our region of the country. And then, did you go to Lindenwood? Is that where you blew up?
Yeah, so I went to Lindenwood. That was Friday, June 2nd. And that's where I kind of got a lot of attention. I did well. I was able to get coached by some high level coaches. But I didn't get any Power Five offers after then. But that's when Iowa really pushed for me to come to their camp that Sunday, June 4th. So I went to their camp Sunday, June 4th. That was a very physical camp. They had pads. It was more so a real football practice. And that's when Iowa offered was after the camp Sunday, June 4th at Iowa City.
So, had they seen you at Lindenwood and then invited you to camp? Is that what you
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they saw me at Linwood, along with a lot of other schools. But yeah, Iowa, definitely, were the biggest was the biggest push for me to come to their own camp first. So yeah, that there was Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa, just to name a few. But I had been in really good contact with Iowa previously from then, so that's when they really made the push after the Linwood camp for me to come to their camp that Sunday.
um, the camp the fourth on June 4th. What did you kind of take out of that camp? What some camps are more physical than others. Obviously, Iowa likes to see what you guys do with pads
Yeah.
on. Um, what kind did you what kind of how did you feel going through the camp, and then what was the conversation like after the camp? I assume with Coach Ferentz uh, or Coach Hodge or whichever both that offered you.
Yeah, both conversations. I think Hodge was the original offer, but we talked to both. Yeah, no, it was really good because I really felt and heard from the coaches that that camp was kind of based on an everyday practice, and that's something that I was able to do well on because I was able to showcase a lot of my natural abilities through the drills and through the things that they've taught. So that gives me a lot of confidence that I can go out there every day when I get there, to do well in their practice format and the way they teach things. And that's a big reason I chose Iowa, is because they don't, when they see someone's natural ability, they don't change it. They elevate it. And that's what I noticed when I went through that camp. Um, and then yeah, the conversation. I mean, it was obviously just incredible to hear them say that I've been offered. Coach Hodge made the offer, and then we talked to Coach Ferentz that night as well. It was an incredible feeling because I knew right away that like this is an incredible option. It's something I'm deeply going to consider, and obviously I've committed there now. And yeah, it was incredible. But I knew that, I knew that I was able to do well at that camp. I knew I did well. So I knew that everything was going to take care of itself. So I was more so just very, very happy.
So Iowa offers, then Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois start coming in. What's
Yeah.
that like? I mean, you've got, no Power Five offers, and now
Yeah.
everybody's coming. That was it kind of hectic?
It was hectic. It was hectic. In fact, after that Sunday, so the Monday, the next day, we had already scheduled to go on a visit to Minnesota, just an
Okay.
unofficial visit. And so I hadn't, I did not want to announce the Iowa offer Sunday nights because I didn't really want my phone to blow up while I was trying to go to sleep. So I go to Minnesota Monday, and it's a daytime visit, and we get out at around probably 5 o'clock. And so after that is when I announced my Iowa offer. I should Minnesota did offer Monday morning, right when I got there. So
Okay.
they knew that I got offered by Iowa, or kind of spread within some other things. But um, so they offered me right when I get there on Monday. And so that's two offers in like 12 hours. And then I announced both of them when I leave Minnesota at probably 5, 6 o'clock. And then I get the phone call from Nebraska, and then I get the phone call from Illinois. It was one of the craziest days of my life because 24 hours before that, I didn't even know that I was going to be able to play Power Five college football. And then 24 hours later, I'm getting four offers in one day. And I mean, it was an incredible experience. It was awesome. I didn't really sleep much, but it was very fun. And it was, I knew I had to go out there and earn it. And that's what I thought I did well. So it was worth the worth all the lack of sleep and excitement. It was very special. So
So you've got all the offers. What is going through your head? Do you have a feeling that you know who it is? Do you sit down and kind of take a step back? What was that? Because it was what, that next weekend you officially visited Iowa, right?
yeah. So because of the relationship that Iowa built with me before they offered, had already made me interested in Iowa. Um, and so they kind of had a head start. And that's why I wanted to visit Iowa first. And so that's really the reason, is because the relationship that we were able to build before they even offered. So that's why I visited so quickly. And then following weekend I visit Nebraska, and then I was kind of able to weigh out both those options because I knew that those were going to be my top two. And then after that, it wasn't really a difficult decision because of just what I felt inside, and it was. I'm glad I was able to find the right fit this quick because I think it's good to for myself to get the commitment out of the way before the season.
What was the official visit like? What was who was your host, and kind of take us through what you were able to do and see? And I know it's kind of a much more intimate look at the university and the program.
Yeah. So my host was Luke Lachey. He's one of their starting tight ends. Very, very, very great person. And that's the thing I looked at first. how do I fit in with the people and the culture? That's my number one decision factor in deciding. And so that's what I looked at first, and that's why I really paid attention to what my player host was like, because he plays tight end. He was in a similar spot that I was in. How do I fit in with his personality, and how does he fit in with the program? I see how well he fits in with the program, and then I see how much we have in common. So that really made me feel like it was the right fit culturally and personality wise. Um, yeah, and the official visit was, it was amazing. The coaches were all there. It was actually an individual official visit, so we set it up individually, which was nice to know that the coaches really wanted me to get the OV as soon as possible, because that's what I wanted to do as well. So, uh, we were able to go to a lot of different restaurants, see the campus, see film, see the stadium, meet lots of new people. So after that official visit, I really knew that this was going to be the place.
But being an Omaha guy, you got to take the Nebraska visit, right? It's
Correct.
probably good, right, to
Yes.
have another official to
Yes.
measure it against.
Right.
What kind of I don't say outside influences, but you're in Omaha, you're in Nebraska,
Yeah.
you're surrounded
Yeah.
by Big Red.
Yeah.
What was that like being a Nebraska kid and kind of feeling the pull to Iowa?
Yeah. So great question. Because if you asked me a year ago that I'd be playing for Iowa, I would have not believed you. But it's something that I wanted to take that official visit to Nebraska to make sure that as an in-state kid from Nebraska, that I would never wonder what my favorite team as a fan would be like to play for. And so that's why I really wanted to weigh out that option. And that made it even more clear on the decision. Nothing negative towards Nebraska, but after both visits, it was so clear on what I wanted to do. And so that's why I'm really glad I took the visit. And yeah, obviously being a Nebraska kid, you're always going to have those influences on, oh, you got to go to Nebraska. Oh, we don't like Iowa, but that doesn't matter to me as long as I know truly inside what fits me best. So at the end of the day, you're always going to get influences no matter where you go. So you just got to have thick skin and attack it from your heart, and then you'll be happy with your decision if you do that.
So you were rooting for Nebraska on this past Black Friday, then Iowa came in, or Nebraska came into Kinnick and won, right?
Yep.
And so
I
you're rooting for Big
yes.
Red then, and it's kind of, is it
Yeah.
surreal for you that it's happened this way?
Yeah, it's super awesome. I think it's super cool just to experience this change all of a sudden. It's an all of a sudden change, and I love it. I've been a huge Husker fan my entire life. Yes, I cheered for the Big Red last fall. Have this change and experience this change is actually very cool. It's fun to go out to our local sports at Shields and buy some Iowa gear now. It's pretty fun. It's just another it's like the cherry on top. It's actually a super cool feeling. And yes, to play for my home state would have been awesome, but to experience something like this, I think is even cooler. So it's the cherry on top of being able to be converted into a Hawkeye. So yeah.
And it's not like there aren't any Iowa fans in Western Iowa
Oh yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
Eastern Nebraska. I'm sure you run into people that give you go
Oh,
Hawks,
oh,
right?
I run into them every day now. I used to every day, but now I get to go Hawks. So uh yeah, no, it's awesome. You see Hawkeye fans all around here. They're spread out. So yeah, I certainly see Hawkeye fans there probably every single day. So
What's it like for your family? I'm sure you've got some Huskers in your family as well, so
oh yeah.
particularly your parents.
Yeah. So actually my cousin is a walk-on on the Nebraska basketball team.
Okay.
So my all my uncles on my dad's side, everyone in my family's huge Husker fans. But they just knew, like, especially the people who, like, my entire immediate family visited, and we have a lot of kids, so it was a great family. It was almost felt like a vacation. but they knew at the visit like how well Iowa fits me, and so they once you see that, the the commotion of being a Husker fan kind of withers away, and so they're just kind of like me. They love the all of a sudden change. It's pretty cool, and then with my extended family, they're fully supportive. So they'll still be Husker fans with that, which I 100% respect. But I do expect them to cheer for the Hawks on Black Friday. So, and I'm sure they will because they're very supportive through that. So it's a change for everyone because of this, but it's pretty cool change.
Yeah, as people that listen to the podcast know, I've been doing this for a long time. And I always
Yeah,
say it's a recruiting process and it's based on the individual. Just because you
yeah,
may grow up a fan of a school doesn't mean that that's the best fit for you. And it's great that you
right,
have found
right,
a good fit for yourself.
right.
We're going to take a break here real quick. Want to let folks know that support for this podcast comes from Systems Unlimited, celebrating 50 years of providing services to people living with disabilities and mental health needs throughout East Central Iowa. A list of their services and upcoming events can be found at sui.org. That is sui.org. Thank you to Systems Unlimited. Hear from a few more of our sponsors right now, and Michael and I will be back on the other side of the break to talk some more football. All right, we're back here on the Prospect Podcast on Hawk Fanatic. Michael, as we talked about, I think before we started recording, Cody Fox was the first commitment in the 24 class, in-state offensive lineman from East Buchanan. Cody has begged off the Prospect Podcast, said he's not a prospect guy, but where I'm going at is once this is probably typical for most schools, but I know it happens at Iowa. The text change starts, right. The first guy gets in the class, second guy, and they keep adding. What's it been like for you since being added to that, and what kind of, I guess, connections have you been able to make with the other guys in this 24 Iowa class?
Sure. So I've been in really great contact with the tight end, other tight end commit, Gavin Hoffman. We were already extremely close. We talk every single day, so it's really nice to have that individual position relationship. And yeah, we're gonna get a group chat here started soon, with the other commits here. So I think it's good to get one started about now because it's been very busy the past week or so with a lot of new commits. So we're like, Gavin and I were talking. We're like, we'll probably wait and hold to make a group chat until around now because it's kind of a slower period now in terms of recruiting. I'm excited to get that rolling. It would have been hard to make one a week ago because of just all the new commits and everything. But I'm excited to get that rolling and start building relationships with other people in our class. So
When did you and Gavin start talking? Was it when you guys both had interest from Iowa or before that?
yeah, it was
Because he
it
went to
was
Lindenwood too and blew up. Both of you
correct.
guys are the
Yes.
same
Yeah.
path.
So it's awesome to have Gavin because he and I were on very similar paths, and we knew that we both had to earn it through camps. So I think it's very awesome to have my position, a person in my position going through a similar process. And so we started talking probably just a week ago when he committed, probably.
Okay.
Um, I knew that Iowa was definitely one of his main choices. I would say a few days before he committed, we started talking because I knew that uh, um, he was very interested. So then I kind of like was talking about Iowa. I was like, hey, you have any questions? Because I know from what I know, I'm 100% in. That's why I'm committed. So I told him that. And so it wasn't much longer until he committed. And so now he and I are very good text buddies. And I'm excited to meet him in person. So we probably started talking about a week and a half ago.
You feel like you guys are like-minded? I get that vibe a lot of times from Iowa kids that commit. They kind of have that same approach, really, same mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I think of Iowa, I think of less flash and more, just more blue collar,
Substance.
more substance. Correct. Yeah, and I think he has that mindset as well. And I think that's the main thing that these coaches look for, in my opinion, is less worry about the flash, more focus on the substance. And I think Gavin has that same mindset. So it's very nice to know that my one of my teammates, which I think all of my teammates will, and I trust that because that's who the coaches look for and that's who the coaches offer. But yeah, Gavin definitely has a similar mindset.
Well, you still have another high school season before you get
Yeah.
to college. So are you preparing for that? What are kind of some of your goals for your final high school season, and how do you kind of marry that with preparing yourself for when you get to Iowa? Because the year will probably go pretty quick.
Yeah. So it's nice, like I said before, to get June done and start with July because now this July I'm really just able to focus on my high school team. Recruiting's over. My recruiting's completely closed, so I'm really able to focus on that. And now I'm really able to start with some goals. And I haven't really come up with any statistic goals yet, but my accomplishment goals are, I'll set them as high as I can. I want to be first team all state, all class. There's obviously a lot of great players within the state, but I don't see any shame with setting your goals as high as you can possibly set them, but making them attainable, which I think this is. My goal is first team all state, all class. Statistically, I haven't really been able to come up with a number yet, but it's something I'm able to do now because of my ability to focus on this high school season.
How does your offense use the tight end? Are there similarities to how Iowa uses its tight end?
Yeah, so our offense kind of fluctuates year to year based on the talents within each position. And so last year we were very run heavy. We had a great running back, we had a great offensive line, and so we relied on that a lot. This year we're gonna be more balanced, and so I think this year will match a lot of what Iowa uses. And Creighton Prep, we really focus on using the offense and getting the playmakers the ball. And so I do believe that this offense that we're going to run this year will be more so based on what Iowa runs than our offenses in the past. So I really like how our coaches do it, just because they really just base the offense and their base offense is really based upon where the playmakers are, and the getting them the ball. So I believe it will be. I believe it will be.
What areas are you focused on in terms of improvement? I know you want to make
Yeah.
all of your aspects of your game better, but is it blocking, route running? Where's your focus on this season?
Yep. So my main goal is to be a more consistent blocker. Um, I was really able to when the ball was thrown to me, I was really able to make some good plays. And then when I was asked to make a big block, I made a lot of big blocks, but I also kind of lost some technique on a few plays. So my goal this year, in terms of that, is to be a more consistent blocker and to also be a very, very crisp route runner. So it's kind of both ways here, just versatility. But that's what you gotta be versatile to play tight end, especially at Iowa. So my two main goals are to be a very really crisp up my routes and my releases, and then just be a very, very consistent blocker.
All right, enough sports talk. We're going to talk a little bit and get to know Michael a little bit
Yeah.
more off the field. What's your family like? You come from, you said your cousin is a walk-on at Nebraska. Athletic family, everybody into sports. Did you get into it early at a young age?
Yeah. So I'm the oldest of seven kids.
Wow.
Yeah. I grew up my entire life. My favorite sport's been baseball, and so my family really has never really been a baseball family. All the Burts. So I kind of picked it up at a young age, and luckily enough, my younger brothers are really into it too. And it's been my first love. But I really was able when I picked up football. I kind of saw my upside to it, so I really was able to focus on that as well. And then uh, once I got these opportunities, I knew like I love this sport a lot. I love baseball a lot, but I knew that where could this get me? I know this can get me further. And that's why I'm really happy with playing football in college. But yeah, so family's seven. My whole family is very athletic. My mom played tennis at Colorado. My
Wow.
dad was a very, very good high school football player. All my uncles played college basketball. Um, my cousin plays basketball for Nebraska. So, very athletic based family. So it's nice to be tall. But yeah, yeah.
So do you live in Omaha? Are you in the city of Omaha? And what is there what do you like to do when you're not playing baseball or football or previously basketball, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, so I live right in Omaha, kind of the smack middle of Omaha. We live in a great area where we live right by a big park, right by a great school. My high school is not far. So, and I live in a great neighborhood with a lot of buddies. So I love when I can, I just love to walk around the park with my buddies and just have a good time, hang out at my buddy's house. Outside of sports, I just love hanging out with people, just socializing. There's not a specific hobby that I do outside of sports, but what I love spending my time doing is just hanging out with my friends. So
You a video game guy?
not really actually. But I when I do play, I love it, but I don't like consistently play it. But I don't know, my brothers are. So actually it's good. That's funny you asked that because recently I've been playing a lot more. But I think that's because I've had more downtime the last week or so after I've committed. But I love video games, but I'm not like a hardcore gamer.
um, how about like media wise? Apps you like and movies you like and TV shows or books, things like that. What type of entertainment like that? Maybe more alone time.
Yeah. Well, comedy is the greatest thing ever created. I love making people laugh. I love laughing. So I love whenever I can watch a funny movie, whenever I have the time, I will turn on a funny movie. It's awesome. So
So do you tell jokes? Is it physical humor? What do you do to kind of lighten the mood?
it's not like a set joke, but when I'm hanging out with people and it's almost like someone will tee something up for me and someone throws up an alley oop and I'll slam dunk it. Like it's an easy way to make someone laugh is because we're in a funny mood. Someone says something funny, or someone says something that has the potential to be funny, and I just slam it in the hoop, and that's kind of how it goes. So it's very cool. So
Favorite meal to eat at home, favorite meal to eat out.
yep, my mom's chicken pot pie is it's very good. So that's gonna be my favorite meal home. Favorite meal out, it's gotta be like a ribeye steak. Yeah.
You have like a steak place that you guys like to go to?
You know, we necessarily we haven't. Well, there's Fleming's. Uh, that's in Omaha. Yeah, we've gone to Fleming's a few times. Very good steakhouse. But yeah,
Heck, I mean, there's a company called
yeah,
Omaha Steaks.
yeah.
So you kind of have to eat steak,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh what are you what's your you've told me this, I don't have it on top of my head. What are you going to study at Iowa?
I don't. It's not set in stone quite yet, but I know I'm interested in business, and I know Iowa has a great business program. But I still have some time to decide that. It's not set in stone, but something I haven't thought about a ton. But if I had to decide today, I'd go in business.
How big were academics in this decision? You had some really good
Yeah,
academic schools to choose from.
very very big, very big, and I think the Big Ten alone really focuses on that a lot. Very big. Um, I like to focus a lot on school. I know that at someday football will end, and so you got to have a foundation of a good um, a good academic foundation. So it's very, very important to me. And I'm glad that Iowa has that support of academics.
All right, we've reached the end of our program here, and this is where I give you guys the floor to tell Hawkeye fans what you'd like to tell them about what you're going to bring to the program, kind of what your hope is for your class, and what you see your future being at the University of Iowa.
Yep. So I will bring effort and intensity every single day, and I know that I will always do the little things right, and little things add up. And so, if you do the little things correct every single day, that's going to pay off on Saturdays. And so, Iowa fans, every single day, I will bring the effort, intensity, and I'll do the little things right every single day, and that will pay off on game day. And I know that it's not going to be an overnight thing. Iowa really focuses on the development of the player, and when the player follows that aspect of coaching and they trust it, things will pay off. And so I'm going to do my 111 every single day. And when I'm ready to go on the field and do it, I will do it, because every single day I'm going to do the little things right and bring the intensity and bring the effort.
Well, the last tight end that came from Omaha worked out really well here.
Yeah.
Noah Fant was a pretty good tight end here at the University of Iowa for sure. So it's cool to get guys from your area of the country. We've had Nebraska kids here, Drew Ott, Nathan Budgeta. There's a ton of who was the cornerback? Sean Prater. These are guys that you were probably really little when some of them.
Yeah, probably.
But Iowa has a really good history in Nebraska, so it'll be nice to have you over here as well. You going to go to the Black Friday game over at Memorial Stadium this year?
I will be there, and this year I will be wearing the black and gold.
Right on. So look for if you're going to the game, Hawkeye fans, look for Michael and give him a go Hawks.
Yes.
All right, Mike. Well, thanks so much for doing this for us. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best this coming season. Enjoy the heck out of the rest of your summer as well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Hawkeye fans, for listening to the Prospect Podcast. We'll be back with another one soon.